Hi, everyone. Welcome to our productivity crash course of project management strategies for leaders. I'd like to welcome back Helene Segura, who did a beautiful job of talking to us about time management last month, and we're excited to have her back to talk about project management.
At the most basic level, you can say that project management first starts with ideas. Then it moves on to the second component, which is planning. Once you've done the planning, then you're doing two components simultaneously, and that is implementing and also communicating. I am going to take a quick poll on average, and I realize it's going to be different for each project, but on average, how much time is taken to plan a project? And of course, this is going to depend on the size of the project, but a happy medium for larger projects is usually in the days area. So if you are a much larger company and 50 different people have to sign off and make a decision on something, that's when you start moving into the weeks range where things really drag out. But at minimum, if we're talking about a large project, you want to spend a total of at least a few days planning, because you do have to check in with all of the stakeholders and do your due diligence. So let's take a look at what that planning might be. For your plan, the key is you want to define the scope in order to prevent issues. If you need to define the scope, you have to know what is it that goes into the scope. To begin this section, I'd like you to pop into the chat box, and I would like you to type in there, what all do you think goes into the scope? Consider the objective and goal, then think about the steps that need to be taken to get there. Yep, timeline of tasks, yes. Who, what, when, cost, timeline, required resources, roles of the stakeholders, yes, all of this. Define desired outcome and steps necessary to achieve it most effectively. Resources needed, revenue expected, the amount of work. Yes, all of that is correct. And all of that information should be available to everybody who is involved with the project. What tends to happen with a number of teams when they begin to falter and we go back and look at the planning, they might have been aware that they needed to include all of this in the scope, but it was never mapped out for the entire team to discuss. It was never mapped out and available for display somewhere where everybody can see at any given moment what all of this information is. So just to be sure everybody is extra clear, because from what I understand, everybody on this call is involved with projects, but not everybody has been through project management education. And you might have heard the word scope, but may not necessarily know what all comprises it. We're going to go through all the different parts of the scope to make sure you understand what every single person involved with the project should be aware of.